Ooh, that was a good clap.
Yeah.
That was the kind of clap that, like, rings in your ears a little bit.
That was the kind of clap that could really fuck up your sex life in the 80s.
Definitely. Like, you get the clap? Like, like that clap.
That clap gave me the clap.
If I wasn't wearing a condom right now, I'd have chlamydia.
You would have the clap.
Easily.
Is that what the clap is? Is chlamydia?
I think so.
It was like crabs.
No, I'm pretty sure the clap is chlamydia.
Okay.
I'm fairly certain that the clap is chlamydia.
Because, like, no one... I always hear about it in things set in the 80s. It's like, oh, you're gonna get the clap.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, she gave me the clap.
Right.
But, like, no one ever clarifies what the medical term for the clap is. If it's an actual other disease or if it's a nickname for one that we already know exists.
I'm fairly certain it's a nickname for chlamydia.
Chlamydia.
Clap. Chlamydia. You know, like MLNOP. You know, chlamydia. That's a good one. That's actually a good articulation exercise.
Clap, chlamydia.
Chlamydia. Herpes.
Gonorrhea. We're stupid, man.
Welcome to the Chill Spot Podcast.
Welcome to the Chill Spot Podcast.
Welcome back to episode 100 and something to the Chill Spot Podcast.
We're not counting anymore. Once you hit 100, you don't have to count.
No, it's all. We peaked at 100, and there was just all downhill from here.
Yeah. Know? Like today we're going to be talking about oats and what's your favorite kind of oat?
Yeah, really. Like episode 270 of the Chill Spot Podcast. Just gonna be like. So you like cereal, Sam? You like cereal?
Yeah, I guess Rice Krispies are fine.
I'm an English muffin man.
I don't like English muffins.
Really? Explain that. I gotta go into that.
No.
Well, this has been episode 270. Where we're just dry and we don't like each other anymore.
No.
You know, we're not even dating anymore. We've broken up, but we decided to keep the ship going, which is like the biggest mistake anyone can make.
I don't think it's the biggest mistake anyone can make. I think that there is a way to progress forward with respect and dignity, but diving back into working would be like, we're going to break up, but we got to keep working together every day immediately after we break up is a bad idea.
Well, see, you know what it is? Diving back into it would be bad. But I actually know there's a local business in Mississauga, which is unfortunately closed now.
Because the owners broke up and it didn't work out.
Well, it's because they were a restaurant and it's the pandemic. But they actually had opened this restaurant together and then divorced at some point because the only thing more stressful than having a media company and a podcast is a restaurant.
Facts.
Yeah. And it broke up, but they kept going. And they were business partners. And the only reason this place closed was the pandemic, which is unfortunate.
Cool.
But I gotta say, that's actually pretty punk rock. I kind of fuck with that.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to break up anytime soon, but I think there's something really admirable about the idea of we're not together anymore. Yeah. But this business has never been about our relationship.
See, it's very grown up, and I'm going to keep using the example of a restaurant just to keep it centered. Yeah. But something like opening a restaurant is one of those things that unleashes the true colors in people.
Right.
And I can totally see how you start a restaurant with your spouse, and through running the restaurant and seeing how they operate in that scene can make you realize some things about them that you really don't appreciate, that you can't live with for the rest of your life.
You take that home and it's like, what do I do with this?
But I commend them for being grown-ups, for being but you're still a good business partner. So I can keep this running, but you're just not a good spouse for me.
Yeah.
And that's very hard to separate.
Definitely.
You have to be pretty emotionally mature, I feel, to understand that you are not a good spouse for me, but you are a good business partner for me. And I'm going to really cement that in my brain and keep that and continue forward with this restaurant that we've opened up.
Totally.
I really commend them for doing that, because that takes a lot of emotional maturity.
100%.
Yeah.
But you know what though? We've been watching a lot of Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of emotional maturity to work in a kitchen.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing with the partnership was he was the chef and she was the business, right?
Okay.
So she did the finances and stuff, but he was the one who came up with the dishes and the ideas and did the cooking.
Yep.
Which is what you need when you run a restaurant, right?
Yes.
Two-headed beast that handles all of the business end of things.
Yeah.
Or the literal encompassed business.
Yeah.
Not just business.
The books, yeah.
But yeah, so I think you're right. I think it takes an incredible amount of emotional maturity.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine you probably have to be okay with a good ribbing, you know? Probably.
Working in a kitchen, I'm really glad I never did it.
Yeah. Like, believe me, like I've worked in a kitchen.
You worked in a Swiss chalet kitchen.
It was It was a line kitchen though. It was like a full line.
Yeah.
And yes, it was a Swiss chalet. It was the third busiest in Ontario.
Okay.
But when I watch Hell's Kitchen, obviously it's not the same.
No, because that's fine dining.
Obviously.
So like the standards are higher, which makes the stakes so much
naturally
higher.
In Swiss chalet, everything was prepared beforehand, and like
exactly.
it was mostly just about getting the food out and having it look uniform.
Exactly.
Right.
Totally
as
different.
much as I love that job, I would never go work in a kitchen again.
No.
It's too high stress environments.
Way too high stress. I don't know why anyone would want that.
Exactly, right?
Yeah. And it's not about any of the things like you like to cook.
Of course I do.
But it's not about any of the things that you like about cooking in a kitchen. If you were to shift career paths, and actually like you brought this up to me once, how you thought about going to chef school.
Yeah, when I was like, do I really want to do this acting thing?
Yeah.
Like, do I really want to do it? That was like 3 years ago now. But.
Yeah, and it's like, I think that being a chef would just take out everything you love. Because you don't like...
Oh, of course.
You don't do the things that you like about cooking. You like taking your time, trying things out, eating good food, sitting down and enjoying people's company while they enjoy something that you've made.
100%.
And you enjoy the pride in like getting to experience people's reactions to your food. You don't really get to do that when you're a professional chef.
Naturally,
you have to appreciate something else about the cooking. You have to appreciate. That's why, like, whenever someone is up for elimination on Hell's Kitchen and Chef Ramsay is like, "Tell me why you think you should stay," they're like, "Chef, I have a passion for food." I'm like, "Well, everybody has a fucking passion for food here. It's not about having a passion for food. Do you have a passion for the business? Do you have a passion for the pace at which you have to go? Do you really want to go this fast all of the time for all eternity?
Are you interested in precision? That's what that's how I'd respond. I'd be like, Chef, I may have stumbled today, but
I'm gonna sit like Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, you be Gordon, and I'll be I'll be someone that I'm getting like. Okay, so Chef, I know I stumbled today, but I want you to know that I'm interested in reaching the level of precision needed to get to your standards and meet your standards. And no, I didn't meet them today, but if I'm here tomorrow, I will. And that's why I think I should stay on the show, Chef.
All right. Giacomo. Why do you think you should stay in Hell's Kitchen?
Well, you see, Chef, I like to cook the food. I get in the kitchen, I cut the things, and I put them away. You know, like, I mean, I'm here to stay. You know, I'm here to stay. I can't go home.
All right. So, I've made my decision, and Courtney. And then it pans over to Courtney, who's like across the room.
She's like eating a fucking finger food.
Yeah.
Like, what?
She like drops a chicken nugget out of her
PA.
mouth. She's like, take off your jacket and get out of Hell's Kitchen. It's like,
and then it's like down. Yeah, that's happened seriously, guys. Like we'll talk about where the fuck we have planned today in a minute, but like
they love doing the like.
No one who gets put up gets eliminated. It's always like Giacomo, Christopher, come here, and then it's like you said.
Yeah.
And the person going home is Courtney, and it's just like, okay. Why have a format?
You know what it is? It was bombastic the first time that he did it.
But 3 episodes in a row? Or it's just like the person
multiple seasons, it feels like every other season he pulls he'll raise the stakes. Like, remember when the blue team was up for elimination, then he eliminated somebody from the red team, and they were all like sitting pretty thinking they were safe.
Yeah.
And then like absolutely safe, because like that's the bar, right?
Well,
like,
you win, you're
safe.
safe.
At that point, I think this was like season 4 or 5, where they were like, they know that if Chef Ramsay doesn't agree with the person, like the 2 people that are up for elimination, he'll reach back into the team, like the rest of the team, and pull somebody out.
Yeah.
But if your team is safe, if your team won the service, like, you're not supposed to be up for elimination.
Because it's a game show, yeah.
And then he just like went sideways and just like plucked somebody from the safe team that night and like sent them home. There's literally no rules. But that's kind of what that kind of messes it up for me.
You're taking the words out of my mouth. Something that really bothers me about when they do shit like that. Same thing with Drag Race, where it's like, why establish rules if you're gonna bring bitches back?
Yeah.
If you're gonna save queens. If you're gonna, it's like, this is bullshit. Like, this is bullshit.
I see what you're talking about, but at least on RuPaul's Drag Race, if you are safe, you are safe. Even back in the day,
it's always been that way.
Back in the day when they gave people immunity. Remember early Drag Race when you could get immunity?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like seasons 1 to 4 or whatever.
Yeah. So like, like, even if it messed up and like completely like tilted the stakes of the game, because like somebody who did not deserve to be there was immune that week, would be safe. Rue at least respected that rule.
It's true.
Gordon Ramsay doesn't give a shit.
No, there's like almost no rules to Hell's Kitchen, really.
No, I don't know why you would ever think that you were safe at any time.
And it's funny because...
And it is so stressful.
I will say something, well, last thing before we move on, but like I will say with the winners of Hell's Kitchen so far, save for one, like most of the people who win go on to have like careers.
Yeah.
Which is nice. I was under the understanding that basically no one wins Hell's Kitchen. Like you walk away and like, yeah, you never get the job they advertise ever. It's always like executive chef position at this restaurant. And you look it up and it's like, no, they got like executive sous chef.
Yeah.
You know, like that's not what they advertise though.
No, sometimes they do get their restaurant. I think it depends on experience. Like that one girl, Christina, was like still in culinary school when she won Hell's Kitchen.
So she was
Spoilers for season 4 of Hell's Kitchen.
It's 2007. Like whatever.
So like when Christina won, Gordon Ramsay was like, okay, I can't literally give a culinary student the executive chef position at a resort in Vegas.
I'm not interested in destroying that business.
I cannot ethically put you there.
No.
I'll get laughed out of this industry.
Exactly.
So they gave her a sous chef.
And that's fair.
And, but like she still has...
And she went on to have a dope career.
Yeah, she's still in food. So that's totally fine.
Yeah.
But like most people, I think, get their position.
Most people...
They get the executive chef. Like Rock is the executive chef. Heather, I think, was the executive chef.
Spoilers.
Sorry.
You're spoiled left
Sorry
right,
for
Sam.
seasons 2 and 3 of Hell's Kitchen. You've only had going on 20 years to watch it. I'm not kidding.
No, I know.
The show started in like 2006.
2005 was the first season.
2005.
I was 10.
Up.
I would have been 10 years old when they first launched that show.
Crazy, man.
But listen, Sam, being a drag queen, being a chef, being on reality TV, these are all different walks of life.
Yes.
I believe that there are, in fact, alternate versions of ourselves.
You believe in the
doing
multiverse?
These things. I do, in fact, believe in the multiverse, as a matter of fact.
The Canon Sam multiverse?
I actually think that alternate realities is like, that's an like string theory. That's really interesting, but off topic. I believe these are real. You know? So what we're going to do today, folks, is like this.
We're going to get a little not existential.
No, we're going to have fun with this. Because I don't want to look over and be like, there's 30 minutes left of this episode and I want this to be over. We're going to define ourselves and then we're going to create our opposite.
We're going to spend some time dreaming and thinking about where we would be if not here right now talking to you.
Exactly. And I think that's really interesting because I don't know about you, Sam, but I'm a huge fan of hypotheticals. I love thinking too much about something that shouldn't be thought about at all, right? Like that's a big, like me and my friends do this all the time.
Explains why we're still sitting here.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And so I love this kind of concept. So I'm excited to dive into this. I also want to say that opposite doesn't mean negative. Right?
Yeah.
Which I think is an important distinction.
It's not like, what do you think your evil twin is doing right now?
Exactly. No, I just mean like literally in terms of interests, like who do you think the opposite of who you are now is like? Assuming you're still a good person, right? Like, because if you're not a good person, like if I wasn't a good person, I'd be in fucking jail right now.
Yeah.
The opposite of me is like a serial killer.
I would make a bad person.
Yeah,
like, I wouldn't be good at being a bad person.
No.
I think in every single calculable stream of time, I am a morally upstanding individual.
Ideally, yeah.
You know, like I lie sometimes and, you know, I don't always pay for my plastic bags at the grocery store when I go through self-checkout.
What is wrong with you?
But I'm not like corrupt.
No.
You know?
No, you're not like Kingpin. You're not gonna like, you're like Donald Trump, fucking corporate businessman.
No.
It's not gonna happen.
No.
I believe there's the darkest timeline where there is like everything is shit, you know, and like those versions of us are probably bad people.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, yeah. That's another interesting thing to talk about is like, what do you think the worst version of yourself could possibly be?
We could talk about it in a
I don't
minute.
think the worst version of myself is like a serial killer. I really don't think in any capacity do I have the ability to like take human life.
Well, it's interesting because you have to think about like the worst version of yourself would just be someone who indulges in your vices completely.
Yeah.
Right? And then from there spawns new vices and new things to indulge in, right? So for me, honest to God, if I like the worst version of myself, like in the darkest timeline, I'm probably like a no job, having loser bum stoner, like eating pizza every meal every day, like I got like 6 girlfriends I don't respect, you know, like shit like that. Like that's my darkest timeline.
I've never had a boyfriend in my darkest timeline.
You don't think you've ever?
I think I've never been emotionally mature and vulnerable enough to have a serious partner. And I think that all of my friends are scuzzballs.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I'm not a criminal, but my friends are criminals.
Right.
But I don't hang out with them. I sit in my mom's house all day eating pizza, getting high, and, like, watching movies.
Yes. That's like bad movies, too.
Yeah. And, like, I barely have a job.
Yeah, you get money somehow.
Yeah.
But it just fuels your shitty life, you know?
Yeah.
It basically, like, keeps you going.
Yeah.
Like, you're, like, 2 days behind on bills, but you pay them.
Yeah.
They're not, like, expensive.
I always pay them 2 days late.
You don't have a car.
No.
You walk to work.
Yes.
But you do work, like, 20 minutes away.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
Yeah.
Can't even pay for the bus. You just, like, walk to work.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. Can't even get, like, a bus ticket.
Totally.
You know?
I've decided I wouldn't have, like, 6 girlfriends. I would all of my sexual interaction is just paying for OnlyFans.
Yes.
No. Looking up websites that share OnlyFans content.
Oh my god.
I don't even pay for it. I look up ripped pirated OnlyFans
screen
content.
recordings of Bella Thorne's OnlyFans.
Local small time girl OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Like, does anyone have Christina Chantianto's OnlyFans?
Yeah.
She's from Toronto. You
Yeah.
know. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a moderator in some of these websites. You know. Yeah, that's me in the darkest timeline.
Oh, that's darkest timeline cam for sure.
Yeah, I actually shaved my beard down to be only on my neck. You know?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's not opposite cam. That's darkest timeline cam.
Absolutely.
And we would never meet. Well, I wouldn't go to school.
Yeah, exactly.
So I
wouldn't have gone to school, so we would have never met.
The Dark Chill Spot podcast.
Yeah.
Oh my god, could you imagine if that was real? It would be the shittiest podcast. We'd be recording on like dollar store microphones.
Yep.
It would just be like, "Hey, welcome back to the Chill Spot podcast," and then like there'd be like big swaths of silence that I don't edit out.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It would just be like, it would be recorded on like a cassette tape.
And like we'd like spam it. We'd be the people who spam it on our Facebook accounts.
Yes.
But then also send it through DMs to like every person we have on Facebook.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like we crack and like pay for one of those bots to promote us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We like fork out $2,000 for them to promote us to a bunch of other bots.
That's what it is. That's what ChillSpot is. We're actually Instagram promoters.
Yeah.
We message popular podcasts and it's like, hey, pay us $500 and we'll promote you on our Instagram.
Yeah.
But we have less followers than the podcast that we're trying to promote.
Yeah.
That's Dark Chill Spot.
Oh, that's Dark Chill Spot. That is supremely Dark Chill Spot.
But enough of Dark Chill Spot.
Yeah.
Sam, if you had to put yourself in a sentence to then oppositize yourself, what would that sentence be?
Sam Mercury is a high-powered mathematician working her way up amongst the ranks of Google.
So I meant like describe yourself as you are now.
Oh, describe me now.
Yeah.
Oh.
So then we can then
sentence.
opposite size yourself.
In a sentence.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Highly motivated, socially anxious,
Skater.
Actor.
Podcaster.
Writer, podcaster.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Hang on to that.
Quirky.
So a quirky, motivated, socially anxious, skater, actor, podcaster, writer, and like we'll lump podcasting and Twitch streaming together.
Yeah.
A microphone personality. That's what we are.
An audio personality.
That's real, though.
An AV personality.
How many people with podcasts also do streams? Like, it's a thing.
Sure.
Anyway, for me, I would be a laid back, toot my horn a little bit. I'll say funny or humorous.
Okay.
Laid back, humorous, illustrator, actor. We'll say voice acting to be specific. Audio personality, and I'll say games enthusiast.
Okay.
Because that's like my biggest hobby.
Gaming enthusiast.
If I had to lump all that shit together,
yeah,
like D&D, tabletop, board game, video game, so on and so forth, like gaming enthusiast. I love games.
Yeah.
So those are us.
Okay.
Now, Sam, with that in mind, describe your opposite self. Like what's the opposite of what was the first thing you said? Motivated.
Quirky.
Or quirky.
So serious.
The opposite of quirky would be serious?
Like straight-laced.
You know, I should write this down so we don't forget.
Okay.
So, Sam, you are... Opposite Sam is... I'm going to say quirky to serious. Right? Go on.
Socially anxious.
Say anxious.
So what's the opposite of anxious?
Confident?
No, I think you can be confident and anxious at the same time.
Okay. Opposite of anxious would be clear-headed.
Assured. Because anxiety is like the act of like being we all have anxiety, but like anxiety is supposed to like alert you to potential danger. But then if you're anxious or if you have anxiety, then you're like constantly afraid that something's going to hurt you for no reason. Mm-hmm. So like if you're assured, then you're not anxious.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Keep going. You said quirky, anxious. Did we go into skater? There was one. No, motivated, driven.
We'll
say driven.
Ambitious.
Okay, I'm gonna write down driven because I started. It's the same thing.
Okay.
The opposite of driven would you be made like lazy?
Yeah.
No, but lazy is negative though.
Yeah.
And we don't want opposite necessarily to be negative. Mm-hmm. So like the opposite of driven would maybe be like
laid back.
Laid back. That's better. Yeah, laid back. Keep going.
Yeah, I am not laid back.
No, you're pretty tight.
Love
you, you. I love you.
So yeah, and then we went into like skater.
Now, this is where it's going to get interesting.
Yeah.
What's the opposite of a skater?
Nothing. Like, you can be a skater and be a nerd. You can be a skater and be an athlete. You can be a skater and be, like, a businessman. You can be a skater and be a artist.
Well, here, but have some fun with it. So break down what being a skater is. Skating is a counterculture. It's a
hobby too.
It's a hobby.
It's an activity.
But when you do it, like you're trying to experience like exhilaration, right? Like it's exciting to skate because it's like an activity that you go typically go faster than you would if you were walking. Like break down why you like skating.
Because it's stylish. Mm-hmm. It has roots in Black history, but also like LGBTQ plus history.
Right.
So it's like diverse in its user base.
Mm-hmm.
You can there's different ways to do it. You can dance. You can be a skater, like go to the skate park, or you can like be a derby skater.
Sure.
It's varied.
But what do you like about it though, Sam?
That is what I like about it. Right. I like that it's varied. I like that you know you don't like you can be a roller skater. You can be a skater and you can do inline. You can be a skater, you can be a dancer. You can be a skater and be a derby person. Mm-hmm. You can be a skater and like go to a skate park.
Right.
Like I like how varied it is. You can take your skates to a lot. It's multifaceted. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the version of you that isn't excited about those things.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think that they would be excited about on the opposite end of the spectrum in terms of like a hobby?
Something that's logistical. Something that's probably like chess.
Yeah.
Because like
order.
I mean, like
strategy.
Yeah, strategy.
Like chess enthusiast. I like that.
You can do different things. Like there are different chess moves, but the pieces move in the same direction every time. That's unmovable.
Yes, you're right.
That's unforgiving.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. Like that's the kind of shit. Like I love this shit. I love thinking like this. What's the next one? It was we have quirky, anxious, driven, skater.
Actor.
That's right. We did say actor.
Yeah.
Now, acting, right? Artistic expression through the body, face, and voice.
Yeah.
You know, embodying another person.
Yeah. There's a lot of empathy and play in acting. Yeah. Those are like two key aspects to it.
Now, opposite Sam is not excited by the idea of empathy and play.
Yeah.
And she is excited by, I would say, the opposite, play being like a form of free expression. Mm-hmm. The opposite of that would be something like we kind of involved the same way in chess, like something a bit more controlled, something a bit more orderly. Mm-hmm. Now, what do you think that would be?
Opposite of like being empathetic and like being playful is, and I don't always want to take it to a negative space.
No, I don't think you should.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be negative.
Yeah. It's like being really straightforward, like methodical.
That's the word.
Methodical. I think methodical, like that's one word, sums it up perfectly. Mm-hmm. Methodical.
Right. Yeah. It orderly and methodical. It's set.
Everything I do has a means to an end.
Right.
See, there's like no end is left untied.
Right. Okay. So would you? I mean, then that means to me that opposite Sam would be someone who's like into like a math or a science.
Absolutely.
Or like a even like geography.
Absolutely.
Like shit like that.
Absolutely.
Well, I know you've never liked math. What was your worst math subject ever?
Probably data management and probability.
Well,
yeah.
That's what you would be easily. This Sam, opposite Sam, data management. That's what she would be.
Yeah.
Because it's methodical, orderly.
Yeah.
It's everything we just talked about.
I'm taking facts and numbers and making them make sense to people.
Data
and
management.
like explaining. You know how like a lot of people, most people who go to like Vegas, they just kind of like gamble.
Right.
Like you just kind of play blackjack. You just kind of play poker. You just kind of like pull the slots on the slot machine and just like let her rip.
Totally.
But like data management Sam is like, okay, statistically speaking, like this card's gonna get laid down. I'm like thinking, I'm like,
you
counting
know
cards.
that it's gonna be. This is what this is gonna be.
Yeah.
Okay. What was the next thing?
I got skater, actor, writer was another one.
Let's like. Was it two more?
Yeah, writer was one of them.
Right.
And like microphone person, like audio personality.
Let's both. Because we don't want this to be the whole thing. Let's cut the Twitch podcast part of that.
Okay.
We can keep writing though.
Yeah.
So because writing is a form of expression through words and thoughts, right? It's a way to get whereas acting is about getting emotional expression down through your body, writing is getting your emotional expression down through your words. So with that in mind, writing is a bit more orderly than acting is. It's a bit less open-ended, right? It's a bit more about structure in some ways.
Yeah.
You don't have to adhere to it, but it's good to know.
Yeah, but
right?
I feel like with writing, like there is a means to an end, but you create that end.
Yeah. Okay, sure. Right.
Yeah, like with my play that I'm writing right now, like the correct way to write this play has sort of revealed itself to me as I've gone through the process of writing it. But I and my partner Alton are generating that 100% by ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
No one's telling us how to do it.
Okay, so in terms of like expression through writing, then words that come to mind would be like articulation, clarity, expression, right?
Yeah.
Opposite Sam isn't excited by any of those things and would actually prefer the opposite. So what do you think that act would be? How does opposite Sam express herself?
Through numbers? I don't know.
Well, I think because writing is a bit more orderly, maybe it's something like a game. Maybe she's into like squash.
Right.
Or tennis.
Right. I get all of my expressions out through like in a specific place that allows me to do that. So I could be like a really aggressive like hockey player. Yeah. You know? Or I could play in like a beer league, but like be the person in the beer league who takes it way too seriously. Like, come on guys, play the game.
You'd be into like Muay Thai or something on the side.
No, I feel like I would play team sports because I would like enjoy it. I would enjoy things like soccer and hockey and football and baseball, but I would like take all of my emotions and like channel it through playing the sport. Ergo, I would become like the least fun person to be a team on.
Right. Okay. Sure. Yeah. So instead of writing, you'd be, let's say, a hockey player.
Sure.
Hockey. Yeah. Hockey enthusiast.
Still a skater in a sense.
Exactly. Hockey enthusiast, but you take it way too seriously.
Yeah.
So opposite Sam. Yeah. Is someone who is serious, assured, laid back, who is a chess enthusiast, who works in data management, and is also a hockey enthusiast. Okay. So you're someone who enjoys games. You're someone who enjoys like the structure in games. Yeah. This Sam, instead of like real Sam, who I think like strives for structure, like exists in structure. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Like she doesn't have to find it. Like she's always been in it, you know? Yeah. Yeah. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah, like I take the structures that have been presented to me that already exist in the world and just like adhere to them.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Cool. Yeah. Does that sound good to you though? Like you think this is like like the core if you were
I don't want any of that.
Yeah. Cool.
Certainly don't want to be that person.
Now for me, you write it down. Yeah. You do this. For me, I said, what did I say? I said I'm gonna have to
I think you said laid back.
I did say I said
relaxed?
easygoing.
Okay.
Easygoing.
Easygoing.
Let's get all. We might have to cut through this. But let's get all mine on paper first, and then we can go through the opposite.
Why? Why do we have to do it differently for yours?
Okay, sure, whatever. Yeah. So the opposite, easygoing. The reason I am the way I am is because I don't like to be stressed or rushed. Yeah. So I prefer to be easygoing. So maybe someone instead of easygoing, I don't want to say like uptight because I think uptight is a negative word. But I would say maybe more...
like someone who thrives under pressure?
There you go. That's an interesting way to put it. Yeah. Yeah, because you're right. Because someone who is good... What's it called? So the opposite of living by the seat of your pants is what? like a tight belt.
Yeah.
You know, I tuck my shirt in.
Yeah, tucked in. That can be like
tucked in. Sure.
Yeah.
Instead of laid back, I'm tucked in.
Yeah.
And after that, I said I was humorous. I like to think I'm humorous anyway.
Humorous.
Now, if I had to break down me being humorous, I think the reason why I try to be humorous is because I like making people laugh. Mm-hmm. I like making myself laugh. Mm-hmm. I like to approach, that's my lens for everything in life, right? Mm-hmm. Now, if jovialness isn't something I'm interested in, you picked serious, so I don't necessarily want to go serious. Mm-hmm. I'd say maybe dry.
Okay.
Someone who's just you've met people who like aren't funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not in a negative way. They just aren't funny.
Have you met people who are so serious that to everyone around them, it's funny? Like,
yes,
it's so, you said dry, and to me, like, the best thing about dry humor, think about Jeffrey on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, okay? The butler.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he is so serious about his job, and he seems to be like floating above the rest of the family.
Right.
Whereas they're like all their zany adventures are going on, and he gets dragged into them. Mm-hmm. You know, he's like, I don't want any part of this.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
For fuck's sakes, I work for you people.
Totally.
So I guess I'm in here.
You can't escape. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's always making dry observations that are funny to the audience,
right?
But are at the expense of the family because like that's who he is.
Totally.
So like I get the sense that like the opposite of humorous for you is dry because you would be so serious, but other people would find it hilarious at how seriously you take everything all the time.
Right. Like the comedy would come from that. Yes. But like I don't do that though.
Yeah.
Like the thing with me, the reason why I say I'm humorous is because I think like for me, comedy is both something that's natural and effort. You know, like it's something I try at. Mm-hmm. I want to make people laugh. Mm-hmm. But if I'm dry, I'm not interested in making people laugh.
No.
You know what I'm saying? I don't have really a sense of humor.
Yeah.
This opposite version of myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny how humorless you are.
Sure.
Yeah.
From other people, maybe opposite Sam
for others
makes opposite Sam laugh.
Yeah, exactly.
How fucking dry I can be.
Exactly.
You know, my favorite drink is water. Oh, is there? Oh my god.
Yeah, like you go to a party and someone's like, "Hey, Cam, like, what can I get you?" And you're like, "Water." It's like, "Nah, man. Like, what's your favorite drink? Like, what is your drink?" And you're like, "Water."
Yeah, you know what? It's a Saturday. I'll have seltzer water. You have a club soda hanging around.
You have like a tonic water.
Right.
Yeah, dude, we got White Claws in the fridge. No. Schweppes. I need Schweppes club soda.
Yeah, no, I don't want alcohol.
No ice.
No. If I find ice, I'm just I'm gonna go home.
It's too much. It's too much.
I think after that I said illustrator.
Mm-hmm.
Or
okay.
You know, a drawist. Someone who draws.
Okay.
Okay, break that down. So like, you know, like you with your acting, you know, it's artistic expression through your body. Uh-huh. Illustration is obviously artistic expression through the pen. You draw images, and that's how you express yourself. Mm-hmm. It's a visual thing. Something about how, look at the way this looks, right? Mm-hmm. And it's a finished product. It's something you can look at when you're done with it. Mm-hmm. Someone who isn't interested in that in terms of like creation, like my opposite Cam is not interested in creating. Mm-hmm. He expressed himself through, how would he express himself? Maybe he's into like talk radio. You know what I'm saying?
He expresses himself through other people who have the means to express themselves.
That's actually not like that's not insane though.
No,
there are people out there who express themselves through the expression of others.
Yeah,
right? People who don't create. Not everybody creates.
Yeah,
you know.
So like talk radio fan. Am I gonna write that down?
Yeah, you know, sure. Yeah, like AM radio.
Yeah,
that's opposite Cam. I don't think that's a negative thing. I just think it's kind of a flawed thing.
Well, I mean, listen. I'm going to say this thing, I think I've said it on podcasts before, but like podcasts are just millennial AM radio.
Of course.
Like,
yeah, can't
knock it because we are it. Sorry.
We just aren't talking about hypersensitive conservative talk points.
That's not what AM radio is either.
In the States, it's what it is.
Like, no, like there's there's sports AM radio.
I know.
You know
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So illustrator, AM radio fan.
After that, I said voice actor.
Okay.
You know, I'm not going to hammer this dead horse too hard, but, you know, voice acting, like acting, is an expression through your voice as opposed to your full-on body.
Yeah.
Right? I think a part of being voice acting inherently is being silly.
I also feel like, like you look at a character or you take a character's description and you decide how they're going to sound based on your perception
of what the character
So in order to do
like,
that, I'm hitting the mic a lot this
I know.
episode.
I've noticed that.
I'm getting really into this. I apologize, everyone. Yeah, so like your perception, your sense of perception is very strong. So I feel like the opposite of someone who is a voice actor is someone who can't, as Jinx Monsoon puts it, look past their own wig.
Yeah.
Can't
see the end of my nose kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So now, voice acting is my job. So I think that like something that'd be worth extrapolating then is like someone who doesn't need to be perceptive in their work. What job would that be? It'd be something you work on your own.
Yes.
Like, and this is, I want to stress.
Solitary, repetitive, like...
Trades work.
I don't think trades work is... See, I think that's discounting trades work. I think trades work is very varied.
Well, no, I'm not saying... Nothing about being varied. I think trades work can be solitary. If you're a plumber, you likely work by yourself.
Yeah.
If you're an electrician, you usually work by yourself. There's other people on the job site. But, like... You don't necessarily always have like a partner. Some people do, like my dad does. And listen, I want to make myself perfectly clear. I have tons of respect for the trades.
Yeah.
Like tons.
Absolutely. We need you.
We literally would not be in this house without tradespeople.
My stuff don't work.
What did you just say?
My stuff don't work.
My stuff don't work.
My stuff don't work.
But like there's someone who is like where it's like I go to work and I get my job done and I can put my head down and do it. I don't need to be social. I don't need to be perceptive. I could just do my job.
Yeah.
I think trades work. What do you think? You clearly don't agree.
I think every good tradesperson has an aspect of people person to them.
Sure.
Like personality. Think about the people that come into work on your parents' house, who have come into work on your parents' house over the last couple of years. Yeah, they're friends of your dad, so they're like your dad. They're social. Right? Think of the guy who came to like fix the toilet a couple of weeks ago.
That's true.
Just like chatting a mile a minute with your dad the whole time. And like, I mean, like we were worried that your dad talking to the window guy was gonna come through this very podcast that we're recording right now.
It's true. This is true.
The painters who came in and painted your hallway, they very had like chatty. The radio on. They were chatty, but like productive.
I stand corrected. Maybe something like data entry.
Yeah.
Like an office job.
Yeah.
Like like something like insurance or receptionist or something like that. Maybe not a receptionist.
No, not a receptionist.
Because you're forced to talk to people.
I think data entry is a good one. I think that, honestly, I think that being on a factory line
that's another
is a good one because you have, first of all, you can't be social. You're around.
Too loud.
It's too loud, and you're around heavy machinery. You like can't socialize with people. It's dangerous.
I know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Warehouse worker.
Warehouse worker?
That's what I would do. That's what I would do. Opposite Cam is a warehouse worker. Oof. And he's happy with that.
Yeah.
He's not unhappy with that.
Yeah.
He goes to work and he knows that he has to get these boxes stacked over here and these boxes in the truck. And when he's done that, he'll go home. In an ideal world. He doesn't work for Amazon.
It's a very like honest blue collar job.
And
like you can have a good life. You can have a good life because you go in, you do your job. And I have friends of the family and like friends' parents who work in warehouses. Provide for your family.
Yeah.
You make enough money to own a house, or at least you did when you started.
Right.
You make enough money to own a house, have a couple kids, go on vacation 2 weeks out of the year, call it a day.
Right.
Yeah.
That's fair.
It's honest work.
That's fair. Last thing is games enthusiast.
Gaming enthusiast.
So
games enthusiast.
Games because it's all encompassing.
Yeah.
The reason why someone might like games, something like rules to follow, but then strategy within the rules. Like characterization. And
I was gonna say where I don't super love strategy, you like strategy.
Of course I do. That's why I love games.
Like I always say, like I fucking hate that game Dead of Winter, but you like it because of the strategy.
There's a lot of thought.
I hate it because of all of the thought and strategy that goes into it.
You have to really think like 2 turns ahead when you play Dead of Winter.
Every time my turn would come in Dead of Winter and my friend was explaining to me, he'd be like, okay, so you can either do this, or this, but if you do this, this is gonna happen and cause this thing further down the line, or it might cause this. And I was like, I hate this.
And that's fair.
I hate all of this.
I love that shit though.
Yeah.
So like, okay, thinking ahead, being strategic, following rules, but then like being my whole thing with strategy is like a bending of the rules, right? Never break the rules. No one's trying to cheat. But like clever interpretation of the rules usually leads to good strategy.
Yeah.
Right? So someone who doesn't like strategic thinking, someone who doesn't like learning rules, someone who doesn't like playing games. Like play is a big one too when it comes to games of all kinds. What would they be interested in? Like a hobby of theirs. Maybe something like model building.
Yeah.
Where there's like, you know,
this is what you need to build. It has to look like this when you're done.
Yeah.
And here are the exact parts to do it.
It's precise.
Yeah.
It takes a steady hand.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need to think 2 turns ahead because what you should be thinking of is the step that you're on.
The step that you have to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
fuck.
Are you okay? You want me to take a second?
No, I think
it's the way you're sitting as well.
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, we'll say model building.
Okay.
Is like, that's my form of expression. Well, there we go. I think we have our opposite selves.
Yeah. Okay. So
It's going to be a little bit of a longer episode, folks, by the way.
Cameron, the opposite of Cameron, is a tucked in, dry-humored AM radio fan who works in a warehouse and builds models in his spare time.
That doesn't sound so bad. In terms of, like, I wouldn't want to do that.
I wouldn't date you. You sound like a middle-aged man. You sound like a middle-aged dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? Here, let me get a notebook.
But you know what? You're probably a really good dad.
Because, you know, I mean, being tucked in and a warehouse worker would mean that I'm, like, particularly hardworking.
You're a solid, dependable sustainer.
Like, I paid for my kids' tuitions.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I sent them off. Like, I wanted my kids to have no debt. So
Your kid's going to have a liberal arts degree. But,
that's fine. That's fine.
But you are dependable.
Yeah, exactly. Okay,
exactly.
So now that we have our opposite selves, it's been confirmed. We have our opposite selves.
Yeah.
So how would you think, go back to key moments in your life. How would you think that this version of yourself would react to that? Like,
okay.
For me in elementary school, I'd probably be a bit more solitary. I was a pretty sociable guy in elementary and high school.
Oh, you think so, huh?
Did you not agree that I was sociable?
I don't know. I just feel like you always talk about how you enjoyed your own company. You were capable of enjoying your own company when you were a kid.
Right.
So or like, you know, like you were going to do your own thing, whether people were okay with it or not.
Right.
And that just seems very solitary to me.
See, but the thing is that like, regardless of what I wanted is not how I acted ever. You know, I was the head prefect in high school as a captain of the football team. Like, I can't be antisocial. That part of the social fabric of my schools, both of them in high school and elementary school, was being sociable. You know, so yeah, I was always around and talking to people, and like, you know, I was the kind of guy like I walk down to high school and be like, hey Jimmy, or like Christina, and like giving high fives and shit, right?
Right.
So this version of Cam would definitely be a bit more reserved, I think. Like intentionally so.
Okay.
Like he's not terribly interested in being social, I think. And that would change my high school experience significantly.
Okay.
What about you?
Let's look at this. If I look at a key moment in my life, serious, assured, laid back, chess enthusiast, data management, hockey enthusiast.
Or competitive, I guess you can simplify that.
I think about like, so I went to university straight out of high school. I went to work for I went to school for a social work program. I don't think this version of me would do that.
No.
But I think that I would successfully nail down what program I needed to go to for school. And then I would move out of town because I'd be confident enough to leave my hometown at 17 years old.
Right.
Move to a new city. Make friends because I have hockey going for me. So I would join like a minor hockey, like a house,
a beer league.
Hockey beer league, make friends there. And then because I'm so assured, I would know that the program that I was in was the program where I should be.
Right.
And then I would just do it.
Yeah.
I would just go through it.
Life without anxiety, right?
And like finish it and then streamline into a job.
Right.
And settle down somewhere, kind of like what a lot of my friends are doing right now, you know, like look in a different province for work. And because Ontario is pretty saturated with people right now.
A little bit.
So, you know, move to a different province, find another beer hockey league, and just do life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That doesn't sound terrible.
Well, that's why I think this exercise is interesting.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like these. I don't know about you, but I definitely wouldn't want to be this person.
No.
But I don't think this person is a bad person.
No.
It's just the opposite of who I am.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's what we're talking. That's what I think is so cool. It's interesting to think about, right?
If I overheard this version of me talking to her partner in the grocery store, I would go about my way. I'd be like, that's a person.
It's a normal person.
Yeah.
You know, we are not friends.
I hope they go about their life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. I think about like, okay, so I was in the drama club in high school. You weren't in the drama club.
No.
But you had like drama extracurriculars outside of school.
I did plays.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So with this in mind, I would probably be like, considering my interest, I would probably do like Gonzaga. We had this thing called G-Force. I'm serious. It's called G-Force, which was like the school news.
G-Force.
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 G-Force. You know? But it's like the school news. So like, I would definitely be way into that for sure.
Cool.
Because like, AM radio fan.
Right.
I want to be on the radio.
Right.
I want to tell the news. I want to.
See, would you want to be on the radio, or do you just enjoy listening to the radio?
I'd be like a writer for G-Force. I almost said G-Spot. The G-Spot, the local high school news.
G-Spot.
G-Spot. Chilling at the spot with G and G.
Chilling at the spot with Sam and Cam at the G-Spot.
Find the G-Spot. Where is it?
Our intro is like, hey, you found the G-Spot. Welcome back.
Hey, look, you found it. Oh my God, she must be happy. Or he might be happy. You had to dig deep for that one. But you're right, I would be...
Do you do?
Yeah, you like that? But I would be on like the support team, I think. I would not be a camera personality.
Okay.
Or a mic personality.
And maybe you'd be like in high school, you'd be like a camera person, meaning you push record.
Exactly.
And then just
I'd
like
run the
stand
teleprompter,
there.
You know?
Yeah.
And I'd be really good at it. Because of how
Yeah.
methodical I am.
Yeah.
I'd just be like, no, this is the proper speed. This is Jessica's speed. She prefers this speed. Oh, but Christopher likes it a little bit faster. Let's talk a little bit faster. You know, like that's what I would be.
Totally.
What clubs do you think you'd be in? Do you have a chess club in your school?
Oh, I would totally do chess club. Yeah. I could also I could be on the hockey team. My school had a hockey team.
What an interesting person.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who is a hockey player who's extremely competitive, but who enjoys the methodical nature of a game like chess.
Something that I appreciate about this version of myself, though, is that while she is wildly different from who I am, she still encapsulates that core belief that I have right now in my life, which is that just because you do one thing doesn't mean it decides who you are.
Yes.
So I hang out with the chess nerds and the hockey jocks.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
It's true.
I like both.
Yeah.
So I do both. And they're drastically different, but I refuse to separate them for the comfort and, sake of others.
You don't need to separate them.
No.
This is both main timeline Sam and opposite timeline Sam doesn't feel as though she needs to separate or cohese herself in any way.
No.
That's good.
Yeah.
I
still fuck with that. I respect that. Like, I don't want this girl's life, but I respect her methodology.
I agree, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
I think
that's kind of comforting to know that I still have respect for myself.
Yeah, it's good, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that's actually a core thing for the both of us here. Because I said this like 4 times now, I really wanted to stress that opposite doesn't mean negative.
Yeah.
So our core of who we are, which is, our sort of like indicative, that's the word I'm looking for, our intrinsic way of walking around the world is still present.
Yeah.
Like self-respect.
Yeah.
I may not be as sociable in my opposite self in my younger years.
Yeah.
But I definitely obviously respect myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I think like for Civvies Day, because I went to a Catholic high school, so I had to wear a uniform.
Yeah.
For Civvies Day, I'd be like dress shirt.
Civvies Day is when you don't wear a uniform.
Yeah.
Those who don't.
Yeah, it's like on a Friday.
You're allowed to wear your street clothes.
There's one Friday a month where you get to wear your street clothes. You have to come in civvies, right? Which is the same term they use for the military, but I digress.
Yikes.
So I would be like khaki pants, like sneakers, nice clean belt.
I was going to say clean sneakers.
Oh, of course I'd be clean.
Yeah.
I would be like coiffed.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Tucked in shirt. I'd be one of those guys, one of those kids,
Yeah.
Like no one really.
Like a fucking square.
A bit of a square.
Yeah.
But a square that doesn't, because like this is part of we talk about core intrinsic value. I'm a kind of person, I've never liked to ruffle feathers or like ruffle waters ever, right? So this person would still be like that. I dress this way. I don't think anyone would necessarily dislike me, but no one would. I'm no one's best friend.
You're
really.
not everybody's flavor,
and that's okay.
Yeah,
and that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
How do you think this person would wear? What do you think they would wear? This opposite version of yourself? Yeah,
of
you.
Myself. Honestly, I think she might be a bit of a slob.
I could see that because you're rather put together.
Yeah. If I'm assured and serious and laid back, I don't think I would put a lot of effort into my clothing.
You put effort elsewhere.
Yeah, my efforts would show in what I do and not how I dress.
That's fair.
So I'd be one of those girls. I'd be like the girls on the field hockey team in my high school who show up after, like, they come to class at 8:30 after having field hockey practice at 7 a.m. and I'm in my sweatpants, like my school sweatpants with like the school's name on the leg, and like my Kwasa t-shirt,
right,
which I won last year, by the way.
Okay.
And like a fucked up bun.
Sure.
A fucked up bun
Musty
with like
bun.
flyaways sticking out all over the place.
Yeah.
But I show up to class and I fucking crush it.
Right.
I'm the bitch you don't like being on group projects with because I just take the lead and like boss everybody around.
Right.
But I insist that everybody else is lazy. But it's just
Right.
that I won't let anybody do anything.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But I do it well.
You're a little neurotic, a bit of a control freak.
But I do it well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You back up your hype.
Yes.
Is what you're saying. Opposite Sam backs up her hype.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that opposite Sam, like, I think that opposite Cam, that's the one thing we have in common, is that we would not be popular with ladies. I had girlfriends in high school, so I was never really like going around, right? Like I always had I had one committed girlfriend.
I
don't think opposite Cam would even be interested in that. I don't know if he'd even really want a relationship because he's just so like, you know,
it's just not on your radar.
But I think that I would eventually get married. It would just be like someone I work with, maybe.
Yeah, and you get married in like her parents' backyard.
Yeah, very low key.
Yeah,
you
like
know,
50 people would go.
Like opposite Cam doesn't care much for the luxuries in life and the experiences in life.
Yeah,
but is happy with that and is fine. He goes on vacation once a year in Canada. You know, right? Like I go to the East Coast every year.
What? Our country is really interesting geographically. Like you should explore where you live.
I've been to Yellowknife. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a cool place.
You vacation in the Yukon.
Yeah, exactly. I don't go to Vancouver. I have a place on Cape Breton, but I'm interested in the place that nobody's interested in.
Yeah.
I want to see the prairies.
Yeah.
I want to see the territories.
You go to like Chilliwack.
Yeah, exactly. I have a bone to pick with Alaska. I have such a chip on my shoulder about Alaska. You know, like
you think that
it's
like
a part
the
of
founding
Canada.
fathers were fucking assholes for losing Alaska.
Yeah, it's
to
like
the
this
US.
weird thing
Yeah.
that I have. Like, I'm just like really. And everyone, but that's part of the dryness because everyone thinks I'm joking, but I'm 100% serious. Everyone's like, "Oh, Cameron, that guy, he's a weird guy."
Your coworkers are like, "So that's Cameron. Don't ask him about Alaska because he fucking hates it."
I drink beer, and then before it was legal, had a problem with marijuana.
Yes, but now that it's legal,
Like I'm more okay with it.
you're okay with it. Yeah.
I have friends who smoke pot, but I would never smoke it.
No,
ever.
no.
But I am a beer drinker, like a
Yes.
stark beer drinker.
Yes.
And nothing fancy. Nothing,
No.
not this microbrew bullshit.
You have like Miller Lite.
Yeah.
You drink like a Miller Lite.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, export man, like my pa.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm also an export man.
But what do you think your girl would drink? Or would she drink? I think she would. Hockey girl, competitive.
Maybe she does drink White Claws.
That's it. That's the drink.
Yeah.
White Claw now.
Yeah.
But in high school, you were big into chasers. Like you would just drink like vodka and chasers.
Yeah.
That was your thing.
Oh,
I think.
Boy.
But I think this.
You
Sam,
think I'm that hardcore? You think she's that hardcore?
I think so because I think that like. Well, then again, you are into data management because like you clearly have a brain,
Yeah.
so maybe you don't get as fucked up.
I was gonna say I don't think I drink like hard liquor.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't think I drink like Blue Vex.
Right.
You know, or like Mike's
Yeah.
Hard Lemonade. I don't think I do any of that either.
I had the wrong idea. The image in my head.
I think because I'm a broke high school student who really doesn't know what to drink, I probably drink like Pabst.
Sure.
And then when I'm old enough, I'll graduate to like hard seltzer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You like Caesars.
Oh, she really is the opposite of me.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying, right? No, that's really interesting.
Like a spicy Caesar too. That's like my crazy. It's like I'm like so like uptight and like this that like I play chess, I play hockey, and I work in data management. But I like flaming hot seltzer or Caesars.
That is the most exciting thing about you.
Yeah,
you
like
know?
I go on a date and this guy's like, oh, the fuck, and then I'm like, okay, and I'll have a an extra hot Caesar to drink, please. And the guy's like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
tell me about that.
Right.
Like, tell me about that choice.
So do you think then, like, outside of school, outside of your, like, you know, sweatpants, like, messy bun era, like, grown up opposite Sam, like, do you think that she'd be someone who, like, maybe wears shirts that don't fit super well? Like, pants that are a little too long?
When I wear a blouse, I didn't consider the size of my bust.
Okay, sure.
So the middle button is like a little bit straight.
A little askewed.
I look nice, but when you get up close, it's like you can tell that like it's a little tight in the shoulders.
You lack precision.
I can't like reach up all the way, and it's like I knew that in the dressing room, but I bought it anyways.
It's just not.
I was like, fuck it. I just won't raise my arm when I wear this shirt.
It's just not what data management Sam cares about.
No.
It's not a part of your priorities.
I meet the dress code, but I don't look nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I think opposite Cam, like, you mentioned, like, going to university and stuff, and, like, we've pretty much burned through everything I've written down. But, like, going to university and stuff, and, like, I think that I actually wouldn't go to university. I'd probably go to a trade school. I'd go to a trade school and end up in a warehouse.
You would fast track through high school.
Yeah.
Because they know that you're just going into trades. Yeah.
I don't get bad grades, but I'm not exactly exceptional either.
You don't love school.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not really interested in, like, learning.
Like, you go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm 14.
But you're not the most enthusiastic student.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hey, listen, if a 14-year-old doesn't want to go to school, they won't fucking go to school.
That's a good point.
Like,
that's a good, especially this year.
So, like, you go, but
It's trtrue. It's true. You know, and I pass, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not exceptional in any way in terms of, like, grades or thoughts or skills or expression.
B-.
A solid B- student who then graduates and then gets a job.
Yes.
And then is saving money.
Yes.
And then I'm the guy at, like, 35 in 2021. Like, somehow, mathematically doesn't make any sense. I mean, like, in the modern age, like
there are no 35-year-olds in 2021.
No millennials who are 35 in 2021. That's bullshit.
Yeah, that's not real.
That's fake. It's like Italian people.
What?
Have you not heard that meme?
No.
So there's a meme going around right now where it's like, oh, I love the movie Luca. It's a shame Italian people aren't real. Because it's about sea monsters and shit. Anyway, I don't want to lose topic, but like, I think that I would definitely like start making money right out of high school, and like you know, just work my job, like put my nose down, hit the grindstone, work my job, make money, find someone at work who's like me. I think my wife would be like the more expressive one. You know, like I get dragged places. Yeah. But I don't hate getting dragged to places. Yeah. You know, I don't make a stink about it. Yeah. I think this Cam is very demure.
You marry a Disney adult.
Ooh, that might be a little too far.
No, you marry like a light Disney adult, you know? Like
okay, you know, I agree. And I'll say why in a second.
Like at your wedding, there's like a chalkboard with like that like indigo font, that like chapters indigo font that's on all of their mugs, and it says like welcome to our whole new world. Like
I had nothing to do with this wedding.
Pick a shell, not a side.
I didn't make a single decision for this wedding.
Yeah.
I was like, you.
But it's like, but it's not like, again, we decided that you're getting like married in your like your future wife's parents' backyard. So it's not like there was like a lot to plan in the first place.
No.
It's like, yeah, he had no part in it, but it's not like he left her to plan like a 350-person wedding by herself. You know, it's very like her and her mom can like do it. Like they got it. It's fine.
You want to know why I agree that the opposite Cam would marry a Disney adult? Because I could so very clearly see the picture of my family at Disneyland with like my wife with the Mickey ears and me with the tucked in blue collared shirt.
She
with
had
the
her
Mickey ears.
She had her Mickey ears before you went to Disneyland, and she got like crazy like sequined like Simba Disney ears. You have just like the black. Like
we have our lanterns. Hers is bedazzled with pins and shit, but mine is just clear. Like I just got it. Yeah, my son is on my shoulders.
She said we are going to like get Disney pins, but really she meant she's gonna get a bunch of Disney pins, and you're wearing the sash to just be a good sport.
Exactly,
you're just being a good sport.
Our toddler daughter is in a carriage or like a what's it called? The fucking you push it and then it's got wheels.
The carriage.
Is that what it's called? A carriage?
You could call it that.
I don't feel like that's what it's. Anyway, I totally lost focus there.
Yeah.
My son is on my shoulders. He's wearing like a Disney. He's wearing like a Mickey Wizard hat. Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
There's a picture of me, like the only picture of me smiling, wearing like Mickey Mouse gloves. You know. And it's like the only documented picture of me cracking a smile.
Yeah, totally.
And it's my Facebook profile picture forever.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like when people scroll through your profile pictures, like it changes. You can tell that the page is changing, but you've just like made it your profile picture like a million times.
You know what it is?
You know what it is? You put a frame on it for whatever social justice
I was gonna say the exact same thing.
But it's the same picture.
Let's talk. Fucking Pride Month 2020. You know, it's just like it's just different every single time.
There's one version of it from like 2010 that's like so small.
Exactly.
It's like 3.5 by like 4 centimeters wide, but it's the same picture, but it's just very tiny.
Absolutely. And my cover photo is all of the models I build.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the most recent model plane that you've built.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think I'd be into ships and bottles.
You think it'd be ships and bottles?
Because I want to be into ships and bottles. Like real cam.
Okay, you can be ships and
It's a
bottles.
crossover. Because I think they're super cool.
Okay.
I think model building is interesting. It's just something I don't have the time, money, or effort to
Yeah.
get into. So this Cameron would.
Okay.
This Cameron would. I agree. That would be my life. I would have the money to support my kids.
Yes.
And I'd want them. Much like my dad, my real dad, opposite Cam wouldn't want my kids to do any of the things that I did.
Your favorite part about driving to Disney World is that you drove from like Michigan to Florida and the entire way you listened to AM radio because you're the driver.
Exactly.
That's the plan. You guys get to do whatever the fuck you want when we get to Disney World, but the way there and the way back, AM radio.
AM radio.
Bring your fucking iPods if you want to listen to music.
Yeah.
Daddy's going to be listening to AM radio.
The opposite Cam sounds like a fairly dependable guy.
Yeah.
He sounds like the kind of guy. Like,
and it's fine.
Yeah.
You know, like no one minds doing these things that make you happy because they're little.
and you know what? Like, I do enough. Like, I like fix stuff around the house.
Yeah.
And like my neighbors, like, oh Jesus, the bench broke. Like, give Cam a call. Like, he'll know how to fix this.
Yeah.
And he won't mind. Like,
Yeah.
you know, buy him a case of beer. He won't give a shit.
You loan your leaf blower to everybody in your neighborhood, and it's like you haven't actually been in possession of your leaf blower for like a year. It's just been passed around to the
Like,
entire
I'm raking
neighborhood
my
through
own
the
leaves
season.
all the time.
Everybody else is using your leaf blower.
Yeah, exactly.
But you don't mind.
Whatever.
Yeah.
That to me, like, not to toot my own horn, is a part of the intrinsic. We talked about intrinsic stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to give away everything I own. Like, as a person, like,
Yeah.
I wanted to get to places in my life so I could be generous. I really like being generous.
Yeah, you want to be like stable enough to be generous,
And that well, because I think
turn around and give back.
Exactly, a big part of that influence comes from my parents. Because my parents
Yeah.
are very much that way in real life, like
Totally.
like main timeline Cam.
Yeah.
So opposite Cam would implore that. Opposite
Yeah.
Cam is able to do that.
Yeah,
He has the money. He's been working since high school.
Yeah.
So, you know, he got a new leaf blower. And like Jerry across the street kept his leaf blower for longer, so I bought him one for Christmas.
Yes.
And I was like, I'm gonna take mine back.
Yeah.
But here's
Here's
leaf
your
blower.
leaf blower.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, Jim.
Enjoy it.
You know, enjoy
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
What do you think opposite Sam would do in terms of romance, like outside of like school? She's graduated, she's working in data management. You have your extracurriculars. You're not anxious. And you're laid back. So is relationships on your radar?
I think it can happen.
Hmm.
Maybe like it surprises me, and you know, I settle in like Winnipeg. You know, data entry
In Winnipeg.
data management in Winnipeg, and I'm in an all female beer league.
Sure.
And the all-male beer league that plays after us, there's one guy who I always walk past. Because we're always like, I don't know, the 6th person out of the change room.
Sure.
You know, he's
Yeah.
going to the ice. I'm heading to my car. We lock eyes, you know, like give each other a head nod. And then after some time passes, you know, we start talking.
And he's not the superstar.
No.
He's not like the captain of the team.
He's just a guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But he's like my guy because we're both like the 6th person out of the room.
He's like a bartender.
As like a career? Or like while he works on something else?
That depends. What do you think? Because a bartender's not a bad career. Do you think that he would be the artistic one?
Shitty hours though.
Of course, it would be.
Nothing you can really build a life off
You
of.
play
If I'm
beer
talking-
league at like 1 a.m, so it doesn't matter.
like if I'm building a life for myself here,
Yeah.
you know, I'd want somebody who can do the same.
And this Sam is she'd be concerned with stuff like that.
I feel like I couldn't date a bartender.
Yeah, probably. Okay.
It's too loosey-goosey. I don't like it.
But do you think that like opposite Cam, who's very sort of strung and organized and, you know, simple and straightforward,
Yeah.
he dates someone who's a bit more eccentric and falls in love because that's how that works, right? So like, I mean, in this reality anyway. So like opposite Sam, who's very like,
You know what?
serious.
You know what? Opposite Sam is still an only child, but my husband is you know what? I would marry someone who works in the trades. Like I would marry, oh no, not an Italian plumber. But no, I would marry like,
You seeing someone with a big family?
yes.
Lots of siblings?
Yes.
Right.
Like the 3rd child of 5.
Yeah.
And like he's got this huge boisterous family, and I go over for dinner and I just get like gobsmacked with the intensity and the electricity
That's
in the
just
room.
your real life.
What?
With my family.
Your family is like fine.
I know.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I was overwhelmed. I mean, it's not like, your mom, your dad, your brother. I wasn't overwhelmed by that. I was overwhelmed by your parents' friends more than anything.
Right. So you're talking about like
That's not family.
You come over for dinner, and instead of like me and my brother, like you're not married to me obviously, but like this person you marry has like 5 siblings.
Yes.
Like 3 sisters and 2 brothers.
Yes.
Kind of thing.
Yes.
And he's one of them, obviously.
Yes. So it's like a family of 6, and then like a
Big
mom and a
dinner
dad.
table.
Huge dinner table.
Right.
Like gorgeous food, enough food for everybody, but it's like she has to learn to like just grab stuff.
Right.
She like the first time she's there, she's like, can somebody please pass the meatballs? And she eats nothing. So she learns that like you just gotta like stab a fork in whatever you can get your hands on and just like like just eat.
He's got a dad who loves you, but a mom who like is a little wary.
Is a little standoffish. If that's her son.
She's not gonna be rude to you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she thinks like maybe her son could do like a little bit better.
You gotta warm up a little bit.
She's a little superficial.
She thinks that you're a little not. She thinks that I'm a little not fun.
Sure. Yeah.
She worries that I'm not fun enough.
Exactly.
But like as we date for longer and longer, like I get into the groove of things, and we're never best friends, but she gives me a hug at Christmas. Mm-hmm. And
you gave her a nice gift.
Yes.
A thoughtful gift.
A thoughtful gift.
Yeah.
That surprises her and makes her realize that I am paying attention. I do want to be a part of this family, and that I take it seriously.
And you marry this guy.
And I marry this guy.
So whether or not she likes you is irrelevant.
Exactly.
Because you're getting married to her son.
Exactly. But it's not one of those like begrudging things where she's like, fuck. Like he proposes and the mom is like, fuck.
Yeah.
She's not going anywhere. It's like, she tells her friends like, Ricky got engaged last night. And they're like, and she's like, yeah, but you know what? It's fine. Maybe it's not who I dreamed for my son, but maybe I was setting my expectations a little bit too high.
Sure.
And she is a fine girl. She's fine.
Yeah, she's fine.
Yeah.
But then it grows into like a positive relationship.
Once we have kids.
You would have kids,
Once we have kids, the grandkids bring us together.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because you spend more time together.
Yes.
Right? Like grandma time.
Yeah. Once she becomes a grandma, it totally changes everything.
And then from there, it's just smooth sailing from there.
Yeah.
Like in terms of like your relationship to your opposite same relationship to your theoretical mother-in-law. When
she becomes too old, because like the dad dies first, so like when she becomes too old, like
of course he does.
all the siblings are like, who's gonna take mom? Like we can take her. Mm-hmm. We can take her. And then I take care of her.
And then she finds out that like, while her son definitely like, he's not a bum, he like makes money, but like you're actually the breadwinner.
Yes.
Because you're in data management. So you make like half decent money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you support your hobbies.
Yeah.
You put your kids in hockey.
Yes. Yeah, and
kind
she appreciates the fact that I'm active with my kids. She
saw you.
I teach them everything. they know about hockey. Like the dad plays hockey, but I'm the one who teaches them the fundamentals.
He's an enthusiast, but you're a hockey player.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Her tone started to change on you.
Yeah.
When she saw you in the stands.
Yeah.
At your kids' hockey game.
When she moves in, she sees our bookshelf and there's like a million like sports books. I'm thinking like, because like my dad used to be in sports journalism, and he has like books about like hockey legends and like legendary teams and like eras of hockey. And she sees books like that. And she's like, oh, like, Ricky, I didn't know you were that into sports. He's like, those are all Sam's.
Right.
And she's like, interesting. Interesting.
And you have like a chessboard in your coffee room, like as like a centerpiece.
Yep.
And it's always ready to play. Like the pieces are like set and perfect and ready to play.
And then the first Christmas that she spends with my family, she gets me like a really expensive, really good chess set.
Yes.
Like a marble chess set.
Like the one that's on your centerpiece is like the one you've had for years, and it's maybe like a little dingy.
Yeah.
You keep good care of it.
It's like my college chess set that I like won the championship.
But it's very important
But
to
it's
you.
seen better days.
But she buys you like...
She's like, put that away, take care of it. I got you a nice chess set.
Like a crystal chess set.
Ooh,
like a really nice centerpiece that like really ties the room together.
Yeah, it's like, we don't play chess with this.
Yeah, no.
We'll bust out the college chess set when we want to play chess, but this is like...
And you get your husband into chess.
Yeah.
He's never liked it.
No.
But he plays it because he likes you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He learns I teach him to play it well enough so that we can play it together. But it's not like with my chess buddies.
Yeah.
My chess buddies is when I get like, honestly, it's like when you talk to me about D&D. I'm like,
Sure.
cool, I can follow along, but like I can't play.
Yeah, like Linda busted out the fucking triple dragon the other day.
Yeah.
Didn't even know she could do that. Kind of thing, right?
Yeah,
Because that's where your competitive edge comes out.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
It's interesting.
Absolutely.
I think we've built some pretty solid opposite lives for ourselves.
I feel like we just wrote 2 movies in one sitting.
You know what it is? Like I don't want to because I know we're talking about literally the opposite of me, but it's like this person we've created, like if I knew that person, I'd like them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would not want to live their life. Truthfully.
I maybe wouldn't be able to spend time with them, but if they were like a mutual friend, and
we're friends with their spouses. Our versions of our current prime versions of ourselves, are friends with our opposite versions' spouses.
Yeah.
So I see her like, Cam, how you doing?
And then like my friend Ricky is like, oh, do you mind if I bring my wife Sam? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. Fine. Yeah.
The only way that I could get opposite Cam to talk is just be like, so how's your job doing?
Yeah.
Stressful. And he's like, no, it's good. Not so bad. It's pretty good. What you drinking?
Like the boss is a little bit of a stick up, and you're like, oh man, I hate stuck up bosses. My boss did this, that, and the other thing yesterday, and he's like, yeah, you do it though.
Not talkative. Exactly. He's like,
it's a job.
That's the way she goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's the way she goes. Yeah. That's exactly what he says.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, genuinely be like, that's, good talk, man.
Yeah.
And like, we be comfortable because I'm also like this, intrinsic stuff. Like, we be comfortable not talking.
Yeah.
We would just be able to exist.
Like opposite version of me when like she comes over to my house for dinner, like, she doesn't say anything the entire time. Like we completely just talk around her. But then when dinner is over, like we stand up to like go outside, I don't know, like smoke a bowl or something. And then we come back in and she's done all the dishes. And I'm like,
yes,
thank you, Sam. And she's like, no problem.
Yeah, she wants no credit for it.
I really like dinner, so I thought I would help clean up.
There you go.
And I'm like, that's really decent of you. Thank you.
We're not like friends, but like, no. It's cool that you're around though.
We have respect for each other. Exactly. And because we have that mutual respect, you can stick around.
So the final thing I written down in my notebook was like, would you think about ever swapping places with this person to live their life for a minute? And I think the answer is still no for me. But I do think that we have built a very real, very appealing life.
Very 3D.
Yeah, we really did give our opposite selves like breadth of depth of character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
I think is important. But what do you think?
If I could like Freaky Friday with this person.
For a day.
Yeah, for a day until we learn to appreciate our each other's respective lives. And then we switch back. Maybe
in your Freaky Friday episode, the opposite versions of yourself learn something from each other, She learns how to style herself a little bit better. And
the fact that when you feel good in your clothes, you feel better about yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
You learn to not take, you learn to sort of relax a little bit and understand that if you look at something clearly, that you won't freak out as much.
Not put so much pressure on myself, just keep my head down and keep going.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's a good Freaky Friday episode, man. Or movie or thing or whatever. Opposite timeline. It's like a Marvel comic. You end up in opposite time, opposite zone.
Yeah.
And you live your opposite life for a little bit.
Yeah.
And you're married to someone completely different.
That'd be a good body switching.
A little bit, right?
Concept, yeah.
Because my interesting thing would be how do you come to terms with the fact that do you look in the mirror and see your opposite self and you're like,
yeah.
You're like, wait.
Well, and it's interesting that it's you switch bodies with this person, but it's not a bad thing.
Yeah. It's a positive experience.
Yeah. It's you learn that the opposite version of yourself isn't bad.
And then you wake up and you're normal again.
Yeah.
But you've had that experience. You've definitely, and everyone is like, you were really weird the other day. What was that all about? I don't know.
Yeah. I dig that. For sure.
Well, So okay, guys, at home, what's your opposite selves?
I was gonna say why don't we do something fun? Okay. Let's sum up what we just did here. Take 5 qualities that you believe yourself to have.
One of them is a hobby. The other one's a profession.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah. Take 5 qualities for yourself and then give yourself a profession, define your profession, whatever it is you do, and then decide what the opposite of that is. But try to go easy on yourself. Okay?
Yeah.
Go easy on yourself. Be nice to yourself. Have fun with it. Mm-hmm. The opposite version of yourself isn't bad. It's just, it's just
different.
For someone who does a bunch of stuff you would never want to do.
Exactly.
So, do it for yourself and let us know.
I would love to hear that.
Drop a comment. Drop into a Twitch stream sometime. Going into our promo section of this podcast. If you're a personal friend of ours, text us.
Mom.
we may, I don't know, maybe we'll ask if we can use a screenshot of what you said.
Yeah, maybe we'll post your answers on Twitter. Comment in the YouTube comment section below.
Yeah.
You could always send us a DM on social medias at ChillSpot Show.
Hey.
All of our social medias are in the link below in our link tree. If you guys like this podcast, give us a good review.
We would love that.
Podcasts live and die by word of mouth. So if you were to share us with someone who you think that would like this, it would be great. But I really, really want to hear what people have to say.
Yeah.
It would be really cool to hear what people have to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really want to know. I know we say like comment with your thoughts. I actually want you to participate.
I'm
in
legitimately
this. Please
curious.
do it.
Yeah.
We should promote this episode
This
in a way to encourage people to do it.
This little exercise we did was fun.
Yeah.
Did you have fun?
I had a lot of fun.
Good.
Yeah.
It's important to me.
Definitely.
But yeah, you can find the Chill Spot podcast at Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, and YouTube. We upload every Tuesday at 3 p.m. On YouTube, but on the podcast services, it goes up a little bit earlier on Tuesday. Probably around 1, 2 o'clock, give or take. But listen, guys, so if you're listening to this episode on Tuesday, when we release it, next week, there was going to be no podcast.
We're taking a week off.
Yeah, we're taking a week off. My brother and his wife was coming home, and we
haven't seen them
almost a year now.
Yeah.
And you know, they mean a lot to me. So I really want to spend the quality time with them.
Yeah, we're double vaxxed, and it's time.
And we are waxed.
Yeah.
Double vaxxed.
Yeah.
And ready to fax.
So yeah, sorry everybody. Go back and listen to your favorite Chill Spot episode. That's what there's over 100 of them now. Hopefully you found one.
The one that means a lot to you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, listen, subscribe to us on YouTube.
Yeah.
We release shorts every week, hopefully.
Yes,
and
don't forget about Chill Spot shorts.
Yes, and share
Check
those
out
around.
our shorts.
Please,
Yeah.
please. And have yourselves an excellent week. And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Bye.
That's the Chill Spot.